Because in Australia, after I was healing and trying to talk about what had happened, they weren't kind of letting, they were sort of letting that out, but they were still kind of, there was a creed of men going around trying to keep me as like, I don't know, they've just started this massive group trying to keep up with the Joneses, and they were following me and always keeping me the lowest. It's been like a ongoing abuse, and then they carried it on like when I got back to here to try and get my life back together. They just kept going to all these houses saying I'm arrogant and egotistical, and then there was another mob going to my landlord said I'm schizophrenic. Now, it was just really hard to keep your own identity when abuse of power was coming into my apartments and my homes, and to real people that I was trying to establish relationships with. As I like to establish relationships with people like the landlord or the people around the community, and they won't let me. Like, they are always interfering in absolutely all of my life, like all of the public life. They really go into my home situations and go and find all the tenants and make sure they are all under one thinking. Like, they won't let me have my own identity. They want to rule and control that I have some sort of mask and that she is somebody else, and they're all working to keep this identity that I'm rubbish and she's the greatest, and that I was always ugly and I wasn't. I was really beautiful, and they won't let that get out. And these men think I have to keep paying them, and I don't. That watch is no democracy. Like, apparently I was kidnapped as a Avenger retaliation, but at the end of the day, why do I pay the price? I'm being raped. I wrote a big book. I was writing my life story, and I was talking about my roots of light. So she stole this whole book out of my phone. Like, they just keep stealing from me, and it's my parts and pieces of my life. And they're saying that they're original, but they're taking from me. And she's been using this dog camera on me all these years, and I'm saying I wasn't a dog before though, and that's why you've completely erased justice. And they're working in fleets and teams, which I think is human trafficking. If you're working in a group, it's human trafficking, because you're not allowing me to have my identity. And then there's just all this crap going on TikToks, all this crap going underground in a Nova festival that I was greasy meats. And I want to know how they've managed to rate me like that to all those people. Because they must have taken me out of my home or taken me out of my van, which they would have had to drug me. And they're just making out that, times that I've had rides with people, or I've tried to get jobs with people that work on the road. I think they've paid them all this money to say all this bad stuff about me, because when I worked for the lady cooking, I didn't do anything wrong to the woman. She said I was doing a good job, and they just manipulated it to I'm not professional talking about my ex. But actually, the truth is, she talked about my ex. Or whatever, it's not even really my ex. She just talked about this guy, saying that my mother would be really ashamed of it. And I just said, why would you say that? And she just kept bringing it up till I talked about it. And then it got manipulated in the public that I am very unprofessional. So they just won't let me have my own. They're controlling how everybody sees me all the time. Like, they're keeping me in some contained world where they're controlling and manipulating the truth to everybody, and I'm always they're bribing people, and I'm not allowed any rights. So they keep me out of work. The reason I was fighting in Christchurch is because they'd gone around and paid everybody to say I'm very schizophrenic, and I wasn't. And all these people had seen one case, Ralph was giving a good notice from Leanne's father that I'm a really good person. And within 3 weeks, Leanne and the father had changed their tune and made me look like I'm a really bad person and to not trust me, and that I'm really fucked in the head and I'm a troublemaker and I need to be kept away from. I don't know who's going around making out all this crap about me, but I haven't had a right to defend myself. And so when I have, it's kind of being hacked and stolen by Steve B, who's putting all these videos online. And it's like, people don't actually understand the pain I've carried all these years of the violence that I've endured without a voice, without healing. I mean, for me, my work is about healing other people and having open communication and safety. For them, they've made it so I don't get safety, so I don't get a reflection of healing, and all I want to do is leave this country, and they're trying to trap me here, and I don't want to stay here. I would rather move overseas where I can openly be myself and die so that I can, but they're trying to keep me lower class, and I'm just saying, how can I be of any class? They're just holding me hostage, and anything that I work on, they steal it. So what does that mean? If you've been kicked to the ground and every time you get back up to go to work and government officials and police keep wanting blood and keep abusing me as a dog that's really ugly in the public, I mean, think about yourself. Would you like it if one day you got smashed over and all of a sudden all these people that were not of any class are filming you daily that you're a dog? Every day, in your home, in your toilet, in your car, everywhere. They're just stealing your life, and you're like, fuck off. Like, and they've got videos of you going, fuck off. And then they're like, God, she's really aggressive and really hostile. And then you're like angry in your home because you know they're all watching you, and your skits out, so they put it all over the internet as this constant vengeance. And it's like, I think you need to have your penis put into a massive clasp with a whole lot of pins put into it, because all you've done all these years is just punished me for endless vengeance that I don't owe to anybody. I don't have to pay anybody vengeance. Like, what she's done is bet me down and taken away my right to love in this life, and I didn't deserve that. They made a whole story about Ruben and that girl to get all this publicity and get a free house in the country, I think. And that's what they keep doing, because these colonizers are taking over the country, and they've kind of, I think they've paid Germany to not let me have a say in society or something, or to be somebody. And then, you know, there's heaps of things that went on, and I can't say it all at once, obviously, because it's been about 7 years. But I do remember driving around through Dunedin trying to find out where I can live kind of a little bit off grid, and finding like this kind of Hindu community food place that is really beautiful food. Like, it's the kind of food I cook, kind of vegan-y, kind of ethnic kind of food. And but I sat there and there was a cat and a rooster like painting on the wall, and I was like, oh my God, they're following me. They're everywhere here. So they were basically had already planned to take over the country, I think. Because this was ages ago, and I got in the car and I started driving down to Invercargill. And on my way down, I just heard an announcement like that they were really sorry for those that have been caught in the fashion company in the Holocaust. But they are very sorry, but the person was set for death, and the only way that they could keep the person alive was to degrade them in the public like that, or something like this. It was a lot more intelligently put together words, obviously, and I'm very, like, in an abused state, and I'm not I'm usually quite a funny, witty, intelligent person, but I'm just so beaten down, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being dragged around by this creed of people not letting me talk to anybody and punishing me. They've never let me have my own power back. They've never let me have my beauty back. They've never let me have the rights to my creative work. I'm always having to pay these women, and they've obviously racially segregated me for a very long time now. I mean, there's places for domestic violence called Orange Door, which kind of, that makes me feel like there is kind of like a racist kind of segregation, and the lead poisoning that goes into your body changes all your cells so that you're not glowing. Usually I glow really, really white because I'm Irish. I have really, really glowing white skin. Most people, the only other people that are like that are kind of like Koreans. They have really glowing white skin too. But Irish skin's more a little bit freckly. So I had the skin and I don't anymore. They've darkened my face and skin. They've fattened my nose or something. Like my nose, I didn't even notice until they told me that, these kids told me, they said all in the news that they were talking about my plastic surgery all the time. And I said, what plastic surgery? And they just said it's all in the news that I got plastic surgery and that I'm making up that I got beaten up. And I said, where? And they said it's on stuff. So I've tried to find it, but I can't find it. And they just said that everybody's saying I'm a liar about it. I'm making up that I'm a victim and all this stuff. And it's like, but you can actually see in the photos that it looks like my nose is wider. So how do you get I'm pretty sure plastic surgery makes you have a thinner nose, doesn't it? And I had a thin nose my whole life. I had a big nose, but a thin nose. And it's kind of wide. It's really wide. It sort of seems a bit, it's like different than I don't even know what they've done to me in my stomach. And I've got no one to talk to because you're all in a massive human shield, which is against the law, saying that, like, fuck off, Jenny, whatever, fuck off, go get a job, go fuck off now. Like, get over it, whatever, stop making up stories, you just sit around making fibs, all this toxic energy, and then I'm not allowed to have any life support at all. I've suffered for 3 or 4 years alone like this so that she can take full reign of everything. And nobody's helped me. Nobody. Like, everybody just blames me.